Thank you so much for giving this to us.
So can you show us a little bit like what you do on it, Dan?
Sure, I play this video game called Ark Survival Evolved.
Daniel Garcia Beach's mother, Teresa, the one behind the lens, knows that operating a camera smoothly is not her strength.
You collect resources, make a house, you can even tame the dinosaurs.
Playing video games and building Legos, that's what Daniel did well. Along with smiling and adoring his mother and his older sister, Sarah. When this Rockville, Maryland family faced a medical crisis a couple years ago, Teresa wondered if what she does so well during her day job could help her son and help other children facing a grim diagnosis.
I'm not the frilly mom. I'm not, what many people think of as a mom. But I love my kids, and what can I do? Dan was dying, and I couldn't change that. All I could do was use what I knew how to do to try to gain him some time.
When Daniel was 11, osteosarcoma, a bone cancer among the toughest to treat, invaded his leg.
If you don't do chemotherapy, pretty much all the kids die, okay? With chemotherapy, you get some kids who make it.
It's survivable if caught early, and more importantly, if the patient can outlast round after round of barbaric chemotherapy treatments.
He was getting mustard gas at the same time there was all that stuff going on in Syria with mustard gas, and they were talking about how how mustard gas kills people. And I was like, yeah, I know all about this. I see the second-degree burns, and I see the coma, and I see the neurotoxicity and the seizures.
Daniel turned 12 during his chemo treatments. He held on, only to find out that to live, the right leg had to be partially amputated.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Dr. Falasfa Wadajo, an orthopedic oncologist with Virginia Cancer Specialists, grew close with the Beach family while performing multiple surgeries on Daniel.
From the beginning till the end, it was a very close relationship, so somebody I really will never forget.
Dr. Wadajo says the tragedy facing osteosarcoma patients is the treatment protocols and survival rates have not improved in 30 years. Clinical trials are failing, and about half of these young patients relapse, and most who do not live long.
It's terrible. You know you're failing them. You know you can't do anything. They know you're trying your best, but there's just no happy endings, unfortunately.
There were snapshots in time that gave rise to hope for the Beach family.
You look awesome, kid. Oh, wow, look at that.
Daniel's mother was so moved by her son's refusal to give up that she responded in kind.
What did I have to lose at that point, right? My kid was dying.
Teresa had Daniel's tumor genetically tested. She even taught herself enough about cell biology to identify drugs not used for his kind of cancer that ended up extending his life. But while digging into the science of this dreaded disease, she uncovered a sobering truth.
Given Dan's response to chemotherapy, I knew he was likely to die. And when he relapsed, I knew that he was almost certain to die.
On August 28, 2016, long after his terminal diagnosis, Daniel Garcia Beach lost his valiant battle at the age of 13.
He suffered horribly. And he always used to tell me, look for the light, Mama. And he said to me, Mom, you got to keep doing this. You're part of the light.
As it turned out, Teresa Beach was the light. In the final weeks of Daniel's life, Teresa had the tenacity to ask for, and the good fortune to receive, the genetic data of nearly 100 osteosarcoma tumors from parents of patients, along with a foundation that tests for genomic abnormalities.
I would work on this whenever Dan was sleeping.
In only a matter of months, this heartbroken, furious, and driven mother with no formal medical training independently validated what only a handful of experts have discovered. Through statistical analysis, she uncovered patterns in the tumors of patients with poor outcomes. Her research suggests a strong link between genetic mutations and a patient's prognosis, which could one day, with the right funding and research, lead to a breakthrough in certain cancer treatments.
What she has done, though, that I think is unique and may not happen again anytime in the near future, is that she's able to fuse the passion of a patient advocate, of a parent, of a grieving mother with real science.
So what does this mother do for a living that has propelled her to this unlikely moment?
I can't tell you about biology. I'm not a biologist, but if you give me data and you give me this sort of stuff, I can get you patterns, I can get you statistics, I can also try to figure out the big picture, because this is what I do. I do the design of space missions.
That's right. Daniel's mother is a space engineer who just happens to be really good at solving complex problems. In fact, her job also led her to another aha moment that researchers want to explore. Beach says a communications network, like the one pictured on the left, looks and performs a lot like a cancer cell, as seen on the right.
They look a lot alike.
Target the choke point in a network and you knock it offline. Maybe that theory could apply to killing cancer cells.
They channel a huge amount of traffic through them, and if you attack that choke point, you can bring the network down. Daniel had a virulently aggressive form of osteosarcoma that spread like wildfire.
News of her findings helped launch the first ever osteosarcoma conference, which was held in Miami in February. Beach spoke at that conference and connected with renowned researchers who now want to collaborate with her, including Dr. Rosie Kaplan, a pediatric oncologist and scientist at the National Cancer Institute, which is within the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda.
To take that information and try to help another patient, I think it's transformative that she does this, and I think it's pretty startling. Yeah, let's look at it.
Dr. Kaplan is taking Beach's data and ideas and formulating clinical trials with the hope of one day creating tailored therapies that will improve and maybe save lives.
And if that were to happen, I mean, that is the holy grail. That is why I do what I do all day, every day, because if we can make a difference for the patients that have the worst prognosis, the worst outcome, that can make you feel good. And I know it will make Teresa feel good, because it'll be for Daniel.
When Daniel was in his darkest hours of treatment, his mother brought him complex Star Wars Lego puzzles to build.
So this was Dan's room. This was his bedroom. And then this is his Lego wall.
Those sets remain on display at the Beach home as a testament to a child who never gave up.
Every time he would go into the hospital, we'd get one of those big Star Wars Lego boxes. And he and I would do the Star Wars Legos together. So these are all of the ones that we did through his 2 years of treatment.
In a way, this mother and son have not stopped collaborating. Teresa Beach will tell you everything she has achieved in these inspiring and heartbreaking months, and anything she uncovers in the years ahead will be because of Daniel, and that maybe in time, the pieces of the complex and maddening puzzle that is cancer will fall into place, so children will not have to face an unforgiving future.
My boy only lived 13 years. And he'll never marry or have kids or any of those normal things, but his life had meaning. And if it had any meaning, and I can take that on, then maybe somebody else's kid will make it.
For ABC 7 Stories, I'm Jay Korf.